David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Today I have for you a pen from Montblanc and their Writers series. Montblanc, in my opinion, does an amazing job with their themed pens. They incorporate lots of symbolism and meaning into their designs. There is a great deal of thought and effort which goes into the creation of each of their themed pens in their writing, as well as their Great Characters series. And I've reviewed a number of pens in their Great Characters series, but this is the first I've looked at from their Writers series. And that would be the Brothers Grimm. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of this unique pen, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about it. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to the good folks at Applebaum for providing this very nice pen on loan for review. Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm, known collectively as the Brothers Grimm, were authors and lexicographers from 19th century Germany. A lexicographer is someone who studies words and compiles the results into a dictionary. They are best known for their collection of European folk tales, including things like Snow White, Hansel and Gretel, Rapunzel, Little Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, and dozens more. The brothers had a conviction that a national identity for Germany could be found within popular culture and within the more common folks. They collected and published their tales as a reflection of German cultural identity. They would collect stories, edit them, rewrite them to make the tales stylistically similar, adding things here, removing things there, sometimes getting down on paper stories which previously had not been physically documented. So putting it into modern terms, they took stories from the public domain, jazzed them up for a new audience, and repackaged them. That's a common practice in storytelling and film, even to this day. Disney has been doing this since 1937 in the release of their version of Snow White, which at that time had again hit the world of public domain. So let's take a look at a pen. It arrives in this really nice box. The Writers editions come in these packages which resemble books and book covers, which are really nice. The box slides out and it really resembles a book, even down to the printing on the sides to look like pages, and even a dust jacket. Inside here, there is a really nice user guide and manual. Montblanc does a really great job with their packaging and manuals for these special editions. It makes you feel like you've purchased something really unique and special. It's not like they just made a pen and threw it into any other box like any other pen. Then we have the pen. The official name of this pen is the Montblanc Writers Edition Homage to the Brothers Grimm. There is a lot going on with this pen. The cap and barrel are made with a black precious resin, and the majority of the trim is ruthenium, which I feel plays nicely with the resin and helps create a bit of a darker mood for this pen. With the Writers editions and Great Characters editions, after the initial product run, the manufacturing tools which were specifically developed for the production of these pens are destroyed. The company says it's to make reproduction forever impossible. Now, I wouldn't say impossible. You could always recreate the tools, but I know what they're saying. Basically, that they aren't going to be producing these specific pens in this specific line over and over again. What we have is what we have, and once it's sold out, they're sold out. The pen takes inspiration from the world of traditional storytelling and contains a lot of references and symbolism. The overall shape of the pen is meant to resemble a wooden walking stick in tribute to the wandering storytellers who would travel from village to tell their tales. The themes of this pen are meant to invoke the sinister and enchanted atmosphere of fairy tale forests. Let's start off with the top of the cap. It is adorned with the traditional Montblanc White Star logo. The top resembles a bulbous handle at the top of that walking stick. On one side, it has the name of the company, and then on the other side, it has the limited edition number of this pen as well as the serial number. And then we have this very interesting clip. Around the top of the clip, it says Göttingen 7 and the years 1838 to 1971. This is actually in reference to two different things. In regard to Göttingen 7, that's in reference to a group of 7 liberal professors at the University of Göttingen who protested against the annulment of the German Constitution by its new ruler, King Ernest Augustus, and the 7 refused to swear an oath to the king. They published a dissenting document which became very popular with the students and in liberal circles, and ultimately it led to the dismissal of the 7 from the university. And 3 of them, including Jacob Grimm, were exiled from the Kingdom of Hanover, which at the time made up a good chunk of what we know as Germany today. While the direct effects of their protest were limited, the efforts of the group outlived each of them, and the creation of the liberal republic in Germany can be in part traced back to their protest. In regard to the years on the bottom, I had mentioned the brothers were lexicographers. In 1838, they began a project they called the German Dictionary, which was one of the most comprehensive works of linguistic research ever attempted. In it, they set out to explain every German word which had been used in the previous 250 years. During their lifetime, the brothers were only able to partially complete this daunting project. They only got up to the letter F. The final volume of the dictionary was published in 1971, 133 years after the work on it began, and was completed by many, many contributors. Then we have the clip itself. It's platinum coated and resembles a gnarled root in reference to how the 2 men worked to trace the roots of language back to its origins. And as an additional bonus, if you twist the pen just right, the clip reveals the silhouettes of both of the Brothers Grimm. That's something unique I hadn't seen before in a pen. The wave-like pattern on the cap and barrel is inspired by the long flowing hair of Rapunzel, which is also represented with a large letter R on the cap. Also on the cap is the signature of Jacob Grimm. The signature of Wilhelm Grimm is on the barrel. At the end of the cap, there is a ruthenium band. On it is engraved with some German. It says Es war einmal, which translates to once upon a time. The barrel is fairly straight, and then at the end we have this elongated piston knob, which is shaped like a spindle, which is in reference to a number of different Grimm tales. Around the base of the knob is engraved with some German words that I'm not going to attempt to pronounce, but basically it's in reference to the 12th fairy tale in their 1812 book, Children's and Household Tales, which in the original release of the book was Rapunzel. The cap twists off with 1.5 rotations, and underneath we have this 18-karat rhodium-coated gold nib. Montblanc does a great job with their unique stampings on their pens in this series. This one has burning flames. This is to echo the traditions of stories being told around a fire. In addition, flames play a key part in many folk tales. This nib is available in either extra fine, fine, medium, broad, double broad, and then also oblique medium, oblique broad, and oblique double broad. And here's a look at the plastic feed. The section is ruthenium. It begins with a slight flare and only angles up slightly before reaching the cap threads and a small step up to the remainder of the barrel. Even though this section is metal, I don't find it to be slick at all. The reduced angle of the section helps with that. The section is not overly long, and I do find my grips spilling over to the threads, but I don't find them to be sharp or uncomfortable. The pen is plenty long enough to use unposted, which is a good thing because it's not designed to post. This is a piston filler with a decent ink capacity, and I find the piston mechanism to be very smooth and operate well. The Montblanc Writer's Edition Homage to the Brothers Grimm is available through Applebaum and retails for right around $1,350, depending on the euro to dollar exchange rate. If you are a fan of fairy tales or the Brothers Grimm, then this would be a very attractive offering to you. The build quality is high, and I'm really fond of the abundance of symbolism and meaning built into the elements and design of this pen. Okay, now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. Okay, here we have the Montblanc Brothers Grimm. Just overall, I just think that this is a sharp-looking pen and just has a lot going for it. I wanted to show you on the clip, if we can get another look, and you turn it a certain angle, then you can see the silhouette of one of the brothers, and you see the silhouette of one of the brothers. Just a very unique feature. But in regard to some size comparisons, this is what it looks like with a Montblanc Alfred Hitchcock. Then here it is with a Montblanc 149 and a Montblanc 146. And then one final Montblanc, this is what it looks like with a Starwalker. In regard to some non-Montblanc pens, this is what it looks like with a Pilot 845, a Pelikan M1000, and a Platinum Azumo. For the uncapped comparisons, this is what it looks like with that 149 and the Custom 845, and finally the Pelikan M1000. So here we have the writing sample for the Montblanc Brothers Grimm. This is an 18 karat gold medium nib, and the ink, I thought I'd break open one of my limited edition Montblanc inks, which I enjoy, which is Montblanc Petrol. This is what the ink looks like. It's kind of a greenish blue, or actually more of a bluish green, as compared to something like Lami's Petrol, which is more green, as well as something like Sailor's Yamadori. This is what the larger bottle looks like. You know what? This is a limited edition ink that is no longer available, but I need to get better at actually using some of these. Sometimes I'm afraid to use my limited edition inks just because I don't want them to be gone, because when they're gone, they're gone. But inks need to be used, and so I kind of need to use a few more of my limited edition inks more than I do. And here we go with the rest of the writing sample. I barely even fit in there. Scoot that over just a tiny bit. This nib is outstanding. Montblanc made some outstanding nibs, and especially on their writer's editions. You can get a bit of flex out of there if you push it. The ink flow on here for a medium nib is rather generous. In regard to reverse writing, it is a little scratchy, but it does get the job done. And in regard to some fast writing, the feed keeps up very well. So there we have the Montblanc Brothers Grimm. This is an edition I really love checking out just because it has so much symbolism and so much meaning. And those are the things that I really enjoy taking a look at and researching on this pen. So this one was a fun pen to take a look at. So if this is something that interests you, I'd highly recommend you check out the link in the notes below to the Applebaum site. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. In it, they set out to explain every German word which had been used in the previous 250 years, including etymological, including etymological derivations and synonyms. Including etymological derivations and synonyms. Including etymological derivations and synonyms. During their lifetime, the brothers